Good day, everyone. Once again, I hope you're doing well. We are continuing our special episodes in Lisbon, Portugal, to talk about the Golden Visa program. And because we are special, and because we are in a special city, and because we are in a special country, we always have our episodes with the special people. And today we're talking about legality, and with a very reputable lawyer in Lisbon, Teirsou. Thank you for being here, and thank you for scheduling. I know that you have a very tough time with back-to-back meetings, but dedicating the time to us, I really appreciate that.
Thank you very much, Tony. For me, it's a pleasure to be part of this episode, and I really appreciate you coming over to Portugal and spending some time with us.
I appreciate that. Can we tell the people and the people who are watching this episode, like who are you? You know, the little bit background.
Okay. So basically, as you said, my name is Teirsou Olazabal. I'm a Portuguese qualified lawyer. I've been practicing Portuguese law for more than a decade, almost 15 years, I would say.
But he's still young.
Thank you very much. I already have some white hair, but
I don't have hair.
It's true. So I'm a Portuguese lawyer, and I'm a partner of a law firm that is a full-service law firm, but I'm in charge of our private client practice. Okay. So in our private client practice, among others, we handle all the cases related to immigration, taxes, foreign investment in Portugal, more specialized in real estate. But in terms of immigration, we've been handling all sorts of visas that are available in Portugal for many years.
Great. And have you studied in Portugal, the University of Law? Have you studied here?
Correct.
In Lisbon?
And yes.
Okay. How good it is?
It's very reputable, the universities in Portugal. They have very high standards in terms of quality of studies, of teachers, and so on. And I've studied here in the university in Lisbon, my law degree, and you need to take your law degree in Portugal in order to have a license, a lawyer license in Portugal.
Oh, okay, great. So to talk about the Golden Visa, and we even also in the previous episode, we talked about the plan or the let's say the history of the Golden Visa when it started in 2012, and then the property option, then the property option is closed, and now the investment option is one of the, I believe that the straightforward investment option to go for the Golden Visa. If I may to ask from your perspective, when the government initiated the Golden Visa program in 2012, what was the main target or the main goal to start the Golden Visa program?
Well, basically, as you may know, at that time, we just came through a worldwide recession in 2008, and Portugal was not doing that well in terms of economics, and the Portuguese government felt that they wanted to revive the economy and to bring over and attract foreign investment into Portugal. It was really something that was necessary to pull over Portugal, not only in terms of economics, but also in terms of reformulating the city, that we had an old city with beautiful but old buildings, and there was a need to recover that.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, getting foreign investment in some certain areas, and then, of course, to with this investment to give back with the Golden Visa. There are a lot of I can call it a fake advertisement about obtaining Portuguese citizenship. Is that true?
Well, it's correct. I would say that you need to be careful when it comes to these kind of subjects, and you need to be advised in the best way possible. So there's a lot of information that is given that citizenship would be something as straightforward or a very simple thing that you just pay and have the citizenship. It's incorrect. So you need two steps, okay, and two different steps. One thing is applying for a residency visa, okay, and a residency card. And after that, after you fulfill certain years of holding that residency visa, you are entitled to go to citizenship, okay? So a residency visa is under a specific law, and the citizenship is under another separate law.
Exactly.
But the two are connected but different.
Absolutely. And then the timing of applying for the golden visa, the law is effective on the day of the submission. It does not really relate it to the law that for the citizenship, after, for example, 5 years, that it is based on the law of the applying for the citizenship. If you're applying today, for example, it's not related to the law that it might be affected or it might be enforced, let's say, 5 years back. So that's the difference, which is, thank you for highlighting this matter. So if I am interested now to apply for the golden visa, and I'm here, let's have this conversation. Okay. How can I start? I'm interested. I'm ready. Ask me questions.
Well, first of all, Tony, I would like to do. It's a very introductory KYC on my clients, to know who are my clients, and I would say the background of the client, because that is some work that we anticipate when we then start working on the visa itself, and especially on opening bank accounts. Okay? That's
true. That's all the lawyers do. They do for the ethical matters. That's obligations. By the way, it should be international, and then the lawyers who they really follow the law, they should do this KYC.
Correct. So after that, what we normally do and what you need to start is to apply for a Portuguese tax number. Mm-hmm. Okay, so
they call it fiscal number, right?
Yeah, fiscal number.
Okay.
In Portugal, it stands for NIF.
NIF. Okay.
So the tax Portuguese number is required. Why? Because someone that wants to open a bank account in Portugal and someone that wants to make an investment in Portugal, making an investment in a fund or buying a property or whatever it is, you must have a Portuguese tax number. Mm-hmm. This is mandatory. So,
and I think what are the requirements to get the fiscal number?
Well, the fiscal number is something that is quite straightforward, okay? And we would need you, as being let's say someone that is not effectively living in Portugal, to appoint a tax representative. Okay? So normally we are appointed as tax representatives, and we would apply in the tax authorities for that tax number, which we will use a power of attorney and a copy of your passport and a utility bill that shows your proof of address.
Okay, utility bill, of course, outside Portugal.
Outside Portugal, so from your
country.
Do I
need to be here to apply for the fiscal number?
You don't need. Okay. As I just mentioned, we will do it with the power of attorney, and we will do it on your behalf, and we will be appointed as your tax representative, and we will obtain that number, the Portuguese tax number.
Okay. How fast this process?
Yeah, so basically, and this is something that is important, that you work with experienced team of legal advisors, because we know the tax departments in Portugal, you have, depending on the region or the locals in Portugal, you have different tax departments. And there are some that are faster than others, because some are more busy. For example, in the city center of Lisbon, there must be some that are more busy than the ones that maybe are outside Lisbon, in Oeiras or whatever. Okay, so this normally, I would say that it takes 3 working days.
Oh, 3 working days. Yeah. Okay, great. So after obtaining the fiscal number, and then what shall I do?
After obtaining the fiscal number, what we need to do is start your bank account opening. Okay, so
which is, I believe, it's quite complicated.
Well, it's not as simple as the tax number that I just explained.
3 working days, we wish.
Exactly. So this is something that really depends on the compliance on the bank. So it's not something that is really in our hands, because depending on the bank and on the compliance, and sometimes they do it in a random way. Okay. The background checking on those clients, and it can take more or less time. Okay, this also depends on on the paperwork that the supporting documents that the client provides, and also the origin and the country where the client is from. Okay,
that's what we need to tackle. So the Golden Visa program, the government of Portugal, do they discriminate any person based on his nationality to apply for the Golden Visa?
Well, we should not say in that way. So no one is discriminated in terms of origins on the country where they are from. Okay, it's the person itself in terms of 2 very important aspects, which is money laundering or financing of terrorism that can trigger that. But it's not because you are from a high-risk country that you are eliminated at first. Okay?
Exactly. So the government or the application is open for all the nationalities.
Correct.
But maybe the bank having some issues to open the bank account for some certain, let's say we can call it unstable nationalities.
Correct. So the bank itself might not want to work,
Yes.
or might not want
the
to
sanctions
accept because they are free to do that.
Yes.
A client that comes from or has a certain specific background. Okay. So that's something that may take more or less time depending on the investor and depending on the supporting documents that they can provide and the quality of those documents.
Which is basically from your point of view, once we have the required documents to open the bank account, we can either tell the person, yes, we can proceed and we can have the bank account opened, or like the only issue is the bank account might not be open. That's why like we recommend you maybe to go for other route.
Correct. So it can happen that, and this is something that we will immediately know because, or we will do a pre-assessment, okay, because we have privileged contacts with the most reputable banks here in Portugal, okay. So we work with account managers for a long time. As you know, we've been working with Golden Visa since its inception. So it's something that we have streamlined, and we've seen the struggles and no struggles. And we will see with that if those documents of that person would be something that is acceptable for that bank. If not, we can also try another bank. You see? So it's not that we only work with one bank, we work with any bank, and I also always say that I work with any service provider, being investment or being banks, that my client wants. So I don't force them to go to A, B or C. I give options and they will.
They decide.
Yeah.
So how important opening the bank account towards the Golden Visa?
Well, it's very important.
Without it, you cannot apply.
Well, yes. I would say yes.
And no?
And no.
Okay.
Okay. Normally, we recommend that the client opens, in fact, a bank account because, well, the money, it's his money, and he will need a bank account if he is in Portugal and if he's going to generate some income for him. Okay. We've seen lately, okay, and this started when the property transactions were going to end in 2023. We didn't have much time to open bank accounts.
Yes.
So we transacted all those properties through our bank accounts of the lawyer. So we got a trust account that it's a client account, and the money would go through that bank account, and it would be our bank from the law firm to issue the declaration of investment, which is one of the mandatory documents, is the bank stating that that person has sent an international transfer of that money to invest in that investment.
Okay, that's great. So in the Golden Visa, let's say, aspect now with the investment fund, is there a way not to open the bank account in case if the person is, let's say, not eligible for the bank to accept his application, can be in the trust account of the firm and then to do the story?
Well, the thing is that the same issue that happens to open the bank account may arise with the bank of the lawyer.
Okay. Because
happen.
of the source of income.
Yeah.
Or the source of the funds in any way. Sorry.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because all the transactions up to a certain limit are sent to the Bank of Portugal, and the Bank of Portugal can request information regarding why this money came, from who is this person. So I'm not saying no, I'm just saying that the same issue might happen.
Okay,
with that.
I agree. Okay. So once we open the bank account, then the client, what is the next step? What the client has to do?
Well, while we are in the process of opening the bank account, normally the client is already looking for the investment or ultimating the paperwork to complete the investment. Okay. Once that is done, the client will need to put the money, the investment money, in the bank account, and complete the investment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So transferring the funds, is it necessarily for the funds to be transferred from his bank account or his company bank account outside Lisbon or Portugal, and then to be transferred, or it could be from like maybe third party if there is any exceptions?
Well, the money needs to come, they say an international transfer.
Yes.
Okay.
So it cannot be local transfer.
Cannot be a local transfer. Yeah. That's the requirement. Normally the clients would send from a bank account that is under their name. Okay. It can happen, and I've done golden visas that they were done by, let's say, 18 years old people. So
18 years old?
Yeah. So basically it was their parents supporting the golden visa on their behalf. So we would need to do some sort of documentation that is a donation, so that they see that the father is giving the money to the son that is sending the money for that investment.
Oh, okay, on his behalf, but as a father and son in any way, that they have relationship, biological father.
So that would justify for the bank money coming from someone that is not the investor, and accepting that money and doing the investment.
Okay, great. So because we talked about now father and son and so on, who is eligible from the family members to be part of the golden visa program?
Okay, so in terms of family members, imagine you have a man that is married to a woman. He can
one woman.
One woman for the time being.
Yes, in case if there are, like, let's say 2 women, because some of the countries they allow
they can
marriage. The second woman, for example, will be also entitled for the golden visa.
Yes.
So all the women, all his women.
A woman married with a woman.
No. I mean, husband and wife, but the husband married 2-3 wives.
No.
Yeah, should be the first wife.
Yes. Well, the one that he has currently a marriage,
yes,
a valid marriage between them, because we will need to show with a marriage certificate that these people are currently married.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So we talk about husband and wife, and then I think the person has to be above 18 in any way.
Correct. So spouse, they are eligible. Then the children, okay. Any children below 18 is possible, and above 18, they need to comply with certain requirements. They need to have proof of study and prove that they are single. Okay. And they would be eligible under the same application as well to do a family reunification. Other than that, the parents of the applicants and the spouse can also apply for the golden visa, and if they are financially dependent from the main applicant or the spouse of the main applicant. This is something that we will need to evidence.
Yes.
So if they live together, if they do regular transfers of money to their parents, and so on and so on. If they are over 65 years old, we don't need to make proof of that.
They will be included automatically.
They would be considered as dependent.
Okay, great. So we opened the bank account. We got the funds in the bank. And now the matter is, like, let's say, to submit the documents. I know that it is not basic documents, but compared to the other programs, mainly for the citizenship programs, they are, I can call it like 10% of the documents. Can we just walk through about the documents in general that it is required to apply?
Correct. So let's take the example of a full family reunification, okay?
Yeah.
So between the spouses, they would need to submit their marriage certificate.
The original.
It needs to be a marriage certificate that was issued within 6 months.
Within 6 months?
Yes. So the originally normally was already issued long time ago.
Yes.
They would need to ask for a certificate of that marriage certificate, okay? Which is normally something that is simple in the civil registry of the country where the marriage took place. Then for the children, we will need to do exactly the same reasoning, but with the birth certificates. Okay. Then everyone that for the parents, okay, the birth certificates as well. That shows that is the mother or the father of the main applicant or the spouse of the main applicant.
Do they require also the marriage certificate for the parents of the?
No, because the connection, the link is between the parent and the main applicant or the spouse of the main applicant. Okay. So we would need to do affiliation proof and not between the parents, the marriage. The marriage and the link is between the spouse and the main applicant only. Then we will need criminal records for every applicant that is over 16 years old.
16 years old.
16 years old, let me just precise why 16, not 18, because under Portuguese law, someone will be under criminal and penalty.
Starts from 16.
16. So basically,
but this criminal record will be from let's say if the person is originally from one country and then he's resident of one or two countries, let's say. So is it applicable for all the countries or there are some options?
Okay, so this is a good question. For the main applicant, he has the choice to submit the criminal record from his country of origin or from his country of residence.
If the residency or if he's been living in the resident country for
more than 1 year.
More than 1 year.
Okay. Then for the others, they would need to submit both in case they don't live in the same country where they were born. They have no choice. So this sometimes is a little bit more or takes a little bit more time. But it's feasible.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
All those documents, just to finish, they need to comply with certain formalities. So they need to be legalized. When I say legalized, they need to have an apostille. If there is an apostille in that country, if not the equivalent, and they need to be translated into Portuguese.
And so we'll talk about the marriage certificate, police clearance, and then even also the birth certificates. So these are the documents to submit along, of course, with the investment certificate after, of course, opening the bank account, transferring the funds, and then even also do the investment of the $500,000. All of this, it has to be submitted to.
All of this has to be submitted to the immigration authorities in Portugal, and this is a process that is done through the online portal of the lawyer that we have registered with the immigration, and we will submit it. The first submission is a submission that is done online through our portal.
Do I need to live or to visit Portugal before any this process? I can do it without being here. Okay.
This is also a good question, a practical one. The investor does not need, unless he really wants, to visit Portugal to do this until this first submission. The very first time where he needs to come to Portugal is at the times of the biometrics.
So to get the residence card.
Exactly. When there is already a pre-approval of the online submission, the investor will be called for an appointment with the immigration authorities in Portugal to collect his fingerprints and to present the original of the documents that he submitted online.
So we submit the documents to the immigration authority. The immigration authority, how long usually they take to get the approval or rejected, or is there any chances to reject?
Well, in terms of timings, since COVID, the immigration authorities had a certain backlog. So now this is something that is taking around a year and a half. But let me just add this, Tony, because it was good news.
Yes.
So
I was waiting for it.
Around December 2024, so a month ago, the immigration authorities have implemented a new action that is to speed up those cases that are under backlog. So everyone that is in that situation, we are now very busy with that because we are working on providing the new documentation on that, and they will be called within 30 days or maximum 90 days for the biometrics appointment. And they want to clean up their intentions. We had private meetings with the immigration authorities when they launched this program or this implementation to speed up or to revive the applications. We had some private meetings with the immigration authorities where they told us that there are around 55,000 applications that they want to clean up until mid this year. But in practice they say that it might go through the second half of the year,
Yes.
but there's a commitment, and it's something that is public now, that they want to make the best efforts to do what it was before. Before that, we would have the biometrics and the card issue within 6 months.
Okay, so basically from the date of submitting to the immigration authority, then we can consider it as per the new law that the 5 years time, let's say, started or will be started.
Correct. So in terms of citizenship, right?
Yes, or to be eligible to apply for the citizenship.
To be eligible for citizenship. That is correct. So now there was recently, last year, a change on the citizenship law that clearly states that the 5 years, that the counting of the 5 years starts with the submission of the residency application.
Okay.
Not when the card is issued or effectively issued, and that was something that was also done because, in my views, also because of these delays that the government struggle for different reasons and good reasons, because they wanted to give priority to the refugees from Ukraine, that at that time there was, from Europe, it was important to follow those instructions, and also COVID. That
delays the process. Delays the process.
So now it's at the time where the application is submitted, and we've done citizenship applications already under this new law, and we've requested the certificate of the counting of time to the immigration department, and precisely they expressly say that started with the submission of the application and
That's
not
a
with
great
the issuance
news.
of the card.
That's a great news.
That's good news.
Great.